If you think of mathematics as a language, then algebra is its grammar. And one of the most fundamental rules of that grammar is index laws. They're not just arbitrary rules, they're the logical result of what it means to multiply a number by itself over and over again. You already know the basics. When multiplying two terms with the same base, you add the powers. When dividing, you subtract them. And when you raise a power to another power, you multiply them. For instance, x squared cubed becomes x to the power of 6. These are the simple building blocks. But things get interesting when we push these rules to their limits. What happens when you divide a number by itself, like x squared divided by x squared? The division law says you subtract the powers, giving you x to the power of 0. But we also know any number divided by itself is 1. Therefore, anything to the power of 0 must be 1. What about a negative power? Say x squared divided by x cubed. This gives you x to the power of negative 1. If you write it out as a fraction, you're left with 1 over x. So a negative power isn't a negative number, it's a reciprocal. It's an instruction to flip the term to the other side of the fraction line. The final piece of the puzzle is fractional powers. What is x to the power of 1/2? Well, if we multiply it by itself, the addition law says we should get x to the power of 1. The only thing that multiplies by itself to give you x is the square root of x. So fractional powers are just a clever way to write roots. The denominator of the fraction is the root. When evaluating something like 8 to the power of 2/3, always do the root first. The cube root of 8 is 2. Then apply the power. 2 squared is 4. It turns a complex problem into simple steps.